the science behind water. Influencers, celebrities, everyone's like showing us like the difference between regular tap water, normal bottled water, maybe a Costco water, and then these, higher premium waters like yours.
Mhm.
So what is the difference, and why should people like really care about water?
So the difference is obviously if you drink a lot of water, it matters what you put in your body. Um, if you go back 60 years or 70, I think it was early 40s, maybe early 30s, 1930s, uh, they started adding chlorine to drinking water, which was it expanded the human life by about 20 years because all of your waterborne illnesses stopped. So, yeah, so in that way, you just really need clean water. I mean, 2,000 years ago, people didn't even drink water, they drank alcohol because the water, they just couldn't trust it to not make them sick. So the biggest thing is that you have clean water, and that just requires lots of testing and treatment. So if you have an issue with the water, there's treatments you can apply to make it clean. But ideally, you don't want a source that's contaminated with anything. So then your sources are where the big differentiation in bottled water comes. So you either have a municipal source, which is going to be like city water, and that's usually going to turn into either purified water. They're just going to run it through purified filters, or it's going to turn into some of your alkaline waters, where they actually add kind of a solution of different minerals and salts back to the water to make it alkaline or to make it electrolytes or whatever they're. So it's just a solution that they add back after they've stripped the water of everything. Um, Next, you're going into, so then you have artesian well water and spring water. And artesian well water means that the water it's natural at the bottom, or it's naturally the water that you're using, but you had to dig a well to dig it. So it wasn't flowing to the surface naturally. Spring water is the exact same as artesian well water, except that it flows to the surface naturally. And then to go one step further, you get the carbonated water, and that is just water with CO2 added. Or they're like Perrier, I'm told, and I would love to see how this actually works. Perrier comes out of the ground bubbling. They capture the bubbles, purify both, and then put them back together again. So that's why Perrier is sparkling water, because it's apparently naturally sparkling water.
Interesting. Okay, that was so good to have that breakdown. One other thing that I see a lot people talk about is like pH levels.
Okay.
So what does that mean, real quick, and then we'll dive into kind of like the journey, how it started.
So pH levels are just obviously the acidity level of your water. Um, the human body, I think, actually, I shouldn't answer that question. I have no idea what the human body is, but I know coffee is around 4. Our water is around 8. And so basically, within that range, you kind of want to, drink things up. So it's hard to say. There are no FDA approved benefits to alkaline water. So you can't make any claims regarding what they do for you. They do help with acid reflux if you have an acidic stomach, or with your teeth, like drinking, it's like drinking coffee versus, so more alkaline water isn't going to wear on your teeth as much. But other than that, there's not really any proven scientific benefits of alkaline versus non-alkaline water.
Got it. Okay, so taking a step back, your dad, I believe, was like a franchisee owner of a bottling company with Pepsi. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so was there like an entrepreneurial like spirit within the family already, or was that just like your dad just kind of got put into a position where he was able to own a franchise? I want to hear kind of about that beginning and
Um,
you growing up.
I think my dad got it from his grandfather, or I think my dad's father got it from my grandfather. So I think, and then I mean, my grandpa did a whole bunch of things. He ran insurance. They were all depression babies, So like they had like 8 different jobs, and they did this and that, and there was farmland and this and so they kind of did a bunch of things. They had 4 kids. My dad's the only one that went into business, but of him, 3 of us, of my siblings, have gone into business. So I think it was just kind of, we did a lot of business as a family. Like we used to use all of the meetings as family vacations. And so he'd have a meeting in Vegas, and then we'd extend for 3 days, or he'd have a meeting Well, they used to have awesome meetings where we went to Cabo one year, we went to Key West, so we spent a lot of time and he always made us go to the big presentations, if it wasn't like a thing. Yeah, so like you kind of got educated along the way and you get excited about it and you feel like you know it. And so it's just kind of natural to go into it.
That's awesome. And then opportunity came across where you were able to potentially buy a bottling company. Walk me through,
Uh,
and then how you
yeah.
got involved.
So my dad, he's a distributor now. The bottling system is not quite what it was, but so he's a distributor now. And he was looking to purchase a beer franchise in Williston, North Dakota. And that deal fell through. But the guy selling that said, well, I don't want to sell you the beer company, but I have this water company in Arizona. And at the time, I was getting a mechanical engineering degree in North Dakota. And I had already graduated college and I was going back to do because I wanted to design things. And I really was not liking the program. It was more math and less design. And so my dad offered it to my sister, and she was like, I don't really want to go do that. And he's like, well, what about you? And I said, yep, I'll do it. And so I moved down here and just kind of went with it.